So I'm showing here a template that I downloaded from Print Center America. Yeah, I have a bunch of junk here that you don't need to see, I guess. And we're looking at Illustrator, and Illustrator is going to look, we're looking at InDesign, and InDesign is going to look and feel a lot like Illustrator for you. But the purpose of InDesign is to do desktop publishing for things like pamphlets, posters, business cards, envelopes, any different kind of thing. So I downloaded this template, but I do want to show you how you would start a new file. So if I say File, New, Document, I have here coming in and New Document menu. And you can tell here the intent for InDesign is generally print. That being said, a lot of times, and I think that Vivian will have you make PDFs that can be interactive, and you can actually put them on the internet. Inside of InDesign, you can put interactive things like videos, animations, and things like that. It's not necessarily just stuck to print media. However, we are using it for print media. Print media is going to change your palette. It's going to make it a palette that is acceptable for use in print, because the RGB palette, remember, is to show on a computer monitor or to display on a screen. But this is for print. So we're doing print, and let's say I was going to do a US business card here. Notice that this is in points. If I wanted to change this, I could change it in my preferences so that the unit of measurement is inches. But if I was going to make a custom size, I could say in here, whatever, 4 IN for inches by 5 inches. If I wanted to add that, I could hit the add, but I'm just going to say okay for right now. Now, the important things to remember here, if you're making like a trifold, which is a piece of letter paper that folds into 3, you would have 3 columns. That's what columns are, pretty much self-explanatory. Margins are just, on this you can see the pink line, they're just guides that tell you should not put printed things, important printed things like logos or words outside of those margins. But some things, like if you're going to have a color swatch or something on there that is going to go all the way to the edge of the card, that's obviously going to go outside of the margin. That's just a suggested guide there. Another important thing that you're going to see is the bleed. Whenever you have color in a card that is going to go all the way to the edge of the card, you need to carry it out all the way to the bleed. And in this case, it looks like I have about a quarter, maybe quarter inch or less, 1/8 of an inch bleed on the outside of the card. So that's here. This is my margin. It's on the inside of the card. So actually I'm going to cancel this, but if you are making your own document, that's what you are going to do. But in this, for this particular project, I'm asking you to get templates from a printing company, and I gave you a link for that. Typically, if you are working with a printing company, they will give you templates, or they will tell you how to set up your documents. Just to show you really quickly here, I think I have it. Oops, I deleted it. I would go back and show you what that was. Print templates. I just Googled San Antonio printing. This is what I got, San Antonio Print Services. They have the templates right here, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, let's say envelopes, because that has more options. So you can kind of pick which type of envelope you're looking for. The standard traditional one is going to be about a 9.5 by 4 1/4, which is this. You're going to want to hit the InDesign button, and that will get a download. You can see I'm downloading right here. I can go ahead and save that. But you know, if you're here in the templates, you can get all different kinds of things. And printing companies will often provide that because they know their machines, they know what you need to have set up. So you have to listen to the printing company. Okay, so anyway, this is what I got from them. This is my business card. The way InDesign works is really just a series of creating frames of where you want things to be and filling those frames. So for instance, if I want to put text, I'm going to take my text box. I can either put this here and just type. Actually, I guess now it wants me to actually draw a frame. So I have to draw the frame out. This is where I want my text to go. And remember, since I'm typing text, I do not want to go beyond the margin. Okay, so now I see that that's too big. Either I can change my font, and whenever I'm typing, all of my font things are going to be, since I click my text tool, they're all going to be up here. So if I want to make this text smaller, I can go ahead and make it smaller, or I could drag out this frame and make it bigger. It doesn't really matter how I want to do it. If I want to put my logo on here, I can go ahead and say File, Place, and I don't have a logo actually made, but I do have some photographs in here somewhere. Well, let's just use this fabric here. This is not really anything all terribly interesting. But see, now since my frame was selected, it actually put it in there. And when I Control Z, I can actually go ahead here now, and you can see that it's loaded on my cursor. And I can draw a frame for it, and there it goes. Or I can draw a cool frame if I want. So I can make this shape however I want it, and this works just like Illustrator. Now with that selected, I can say File, Place. And I'm going to go ahead and grab that fabric again. And there, it filled in there. Now I can say right-clicking on here with get my black arrow, so I'm with the right tool. I'm going to right-click on here, and I can say Fitting. Fit content to the frame. I have different fit options. Oops. Actually, what I want to do is fit my content to the frame. I think I said fit frame to content. So fit content to frame. So now that whole thing fits in there. Now the purpose of a bleed is, let's say I wanted to have this be the background of the whole card. I would actually drag this image out to the edges of the bleed. And you know, the stuff that is in here is not actually going to, that goes out to the edges is not actually going to be printed. It's just if there's a little bit, content, if the offset is off a little bit or something like that, it needs to go out to the edge. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and move this to the back. Arrange, send to back. There we go. So really that's all there is to this. Make sure that you look at a lot of samples to see what it is you're trying to do, and use your colors judiciously, because realize that if you are printing, the more colors you use, the more expensive it becomes if you're going to a print shop.